Welcome back to another one here, Twostallgarage. I'm Chris, your host for this episode of Twostallgarage. And in this episode, yes, we just got back from driving my 1994 Chevrolet Caprice Wagon Clone, Impala Clone, back from Michigan to Kentucky, 500-mile trip. It made it. First thing we're going to do is, this thing stinks. It smells like it has been sitting. Not a bad stink. There's no smell. There's no nothing, but it smells like a 90s vehicle mixed with Travis Tritt. Some faint cigars. That rotting French fry from the 90s in your mom's minivan. It don't smell good is what I'm getting at. So first thing I'm going to do is we're going to get this thing ozoned. So I'm going to go grab the ozone machine and put it in here. So I just opened the garage. You know, Caprice is sitting in here and, you know, the Impala's sitting in here. And I think that they kind of just had that Spider-Man pointing movement, you know, where they're like pointing at each other. Yeah, I think they just had that moment. So, I don't know, kind of weird. Anyways, get to work. So I've ozone stuff quite often. If you don't know what it is, I got this thing off Amazon like 4 or 5 years ago, and what it does is it converts oxygen into O3, ozone, I guess, and it's supposed to be like an air purifier thing because microorganisms can't survive in O3. They have to breathe O2, which is normal oxygen like humans. So it's kind of like setting up a gas chamber inside the car right there and killing all the bioorganisms in there that are causing the stuff to stink. Well, you don't want to breathe it in either because it will harm you. So make sure you're using caution with this thing. Now, I don't know if I've ever seen it, but it's just basically got a timer. You can put it on for 180 minutes, which I usually do, which is 3 hours. Let it ozone. It says use in unoccupied spaces only. It just plugs in and yeah, it just says commercial air purifier. But it's real simple. No need to have any special tools or anything, but you know, this Caprice got the smell, so we're gonna make sure it's unsmelled. Forgot to grab my extension cord, but we also did this to Bert and we got all the mouse poop smell on it. I actually did it probably 8 or 9 times in Bert, and it helped. All right, so you do got to be careful when you put the cord in there and pinch it. So I use my heavier duty one and, you know, try to pinch it where there's a seal so you can kind of squish it or just kind of loosely close it on there where it works. I don't know what to figure that out here in a second because that ain't gonna work. All right, so plan B, you know, just do whatever makes sense. If you're gonna use one of these, I'm gonna run it through here, kind of through here, and we'll just plug this in to make sure it's actually good. And you hear it kick on. Do the timer all the way. I mean, you can lock it and put it in the hold position, but I kind of want it to just time out. When it's going, you'll see the front. It's got like a weird blue thing in there, or violet, and it stinks. Not in a bad way, just smells like air purifier, so that's fine as long as it's not pinching my cord and it's all good. So you don't want to have any animals in here, food or anything, because that thing's back there running. So seal it up and you're good. If there's any more of those little bastard bees in there, it's going to kill them. Well, it's been more than a couple days. And I'm back out here working on this 1994 Chevrolet Caprice wagon. Now you can see that we got it in the garage and it's next to the Impala because, well, why not? Kind of a neat overview if you look at it, you know. Yeah, anyways. So back out here today, I'm going to back this wagon out of the garage. We're going to get it out into the sun. I'm going to pressure wash it. Pressure wash out the engine compartment. We're going to pressure wash out all the BS on it. And we are going to see how we can get this thing cleaned up today. I'm going to go around, probably try to fix some odds and ends. But first, I want to get this thing cleaned up. As you remember, the last part of this video, beginning of this video for you guys, last part of it for me, is we left off with it being ozoned and getting rid of the smell in the back. And machine is still back in here, and it actually smells pretty damn good now. It's more along the lines of the summer fresh air freshener that I ended up putting in here. I don't know. What was that? Where did it go? Oh, it's right here. It's this little one that I had on the shelf. But it smells good. Other than that, it is exactly how I left it here about 2 weeks ago driving it home. So let me get this thing backed out and we'll get it staged up to get washed, pressure washed. Let's listen to that stock LT1. Stock LT1, fire up, baby. Ho, yeah. So now that the car is outside, I'd like to look and see where it was parked at, just to see what drips are there, and then you can kind of guesstimate on some of the work that you're going to have to do. Enunciate there, Christopher. And by the looks of it, we got a couple drops on the floor. So it was parked up here. We got a little drip right here. That's just oil. We got another one back there. That's oil. Transmission maybe. Actually, it is red. That's transmission, probably a line. That's probably from that cooler that the guy was talking about. And then we got a little pea spot right here. And this, I can already smell it, is differential fluid. Pretty good indicator. We gotta get that rear end taken, I don't know, apart maybe, looked at, whatever. There was gear oil in the back seat, so that would explain it's leaking. So we'll look at that here when we start doing the basic mechanical stuff on this Caprice. But for right now, I'm gonna enjoy the sun while it's out. It's a very nice day. It's like 65. We're gonna get you set up and I'm gonna start doing work on the engine compartment. All right, well, I'm gonna start by getting the hood popped open. And we got to get vice grips. Hold it open. Back with my vice grips. Let's get this thing open. Actually gonna go grab another pair and hold that up. We'll dive into the engine compartment. All right, so inside the engine bay, you can see that it is quite dirty. It's gross, it's grimy. I've had people argue with me that you can't spray an electrical system on an LT1. Why? It rains out. You drive it up and down the road, it gets water in it. And if it doesn't work, you fix it. That's how you find your electrical problems. But then they argue, well, yeah, you got this, you got that. I don't know. Just clean it. So I'm gonna use this super clean foaming. There we go. And every little aspect of this car is gonna get some degreaser on it. Now I don't think it's ever had a really good cleaning underneath here, so we might have to do this a couple times. But I found that this super clean stuff works out pretty good actually. It's good coverage. Am I looking for perfection? No sir. Am I looking for cleanliness? Yes sir. Because most likely we're gonna have to be in here working on this thing. And I don't like working on a dirty engine. So if we can clean it right now, let's do it up. Good and bad of the sun as it dries this stuff up, but make sure to have your pressure washer on standby and you'll be good. Now I'm not going to spray the mat just yet. We'll worry about that later, because usually you start spraying them and degreasing them, they blow apart. And you gotta buy a new one. They're not cheap. There's more right there, because that looks like it was baked down there for a while. So everyone's always saying that, again, you can't run these things when they're wet. So let's see if it fires off. So I'm going to go through and do a quick once over on it. It's probably going to be boring. I'm going to record it and then see if I can time lapse it forward. But if not, with my new software, I don't know, I'll probably just leave it in. But if you want to skip ahead, I'm gonna pressure wash the outside of the car with just water, and I'm gonna get soap and wash it and then pressure wash it again. All right, so now I got soapy water. I just got some Armor All cheap car wash, that's fine. And I got a old, or actually it's new, old, I've had it for a while, sponge brush, because I hate using these sponge brushes on the Impala, but for this application it's perfect. So we're just gonna go through and do a gentle rinse, degrease on it. We might do it a couple times just to try to get some of this crud off of it and see what we're working with. Now you do got to be careful, because you see I just picked up a piece of rust off of here. You don't want to drag that over your paint, because that'll scratch up the rest of it. So I'm gonna go through, scrub it, try to see what we come up with. This is obviously just clear coat that's gone, so not really sure what we're gonna do with that. Probably just leave it. Overall, you guys have seen washing cars on TV and YouTube. I'm not going to bore you with it anymore. Well, the Caprice already looks 100 times better just from a quick wash, pressure wash, getting all the other crap out of it. And I'm actually pretty damn impressed. So I'm gonna pop the hood here really quick. I'm gonna go grab some dinner. I'm gonna let this thing drip dry out here in the sun. And then we're gonna get on to the interior. And then I got some more stuff I'm gonna do to it too. Okay, now that we're back inside, I'm gonna go through and get all the trash out of this thing. We're gonna vacuum it all up, get all the excess parts out of it. And we're gonna go ahead and just kind of do some organizing it. But we need to get all the stuff out of it so we can clean it out. I'm gonna wipe down the windows because there's a thick film on the inside here, and you can just see me running my finger across it. I got that white little line right there. That's pretty effing gross. So I want to wipe down the windows, vacuum it all out, get all the leaves and everything out of it. And I want to get a coat of some kind of vinyl cleaner or something on the door panels. They're salvageable. They're about ready to not be. They're kind of a little crusty. Had this car been in Central Kentucky, the door panels would probably be trashed. But since it was up in Michigan, the climate's a little bit different up there, and this should be more of a salvageable situation. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean all this stuff out now and then get a good vacuum on it. Also just noticed that driver's side door panel right here, we got a little cover on it. We don't have a light like we do on the Impala here. Huh. Interesting. These little things, just, little things. All right, get to cleaning. Yeah, I just don't know what all that stuff is. Oh well. Ugh. I don't know if you can see that, the amount of tar that's just coming up out of this thing. It's gross. I really wonder when the last time this car got detailed up, ripped up, cleaned out. I am going to give this dash a good wiping down. Look at that thing, it's just like coming back to life. I ain't mad at that. This came back that nice. I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna get myself a good coat of Armor All. Cool Armor All. Make sure it comes back a lot. Okay, that stuff can be painted. I'm taken back at how well this dash came out. That is impressive. So I got this one pretty well cleaned up, a lot of that dirt and grime cleaned up off of it. You do got to watch it with some of these cleaners. You can see that the mirror, left hand, right hand was starting to smear. You will rub that off with whatever chemicals inside some of these. And also, I did notice, as I was doing the floor, we got us a hole right there. And I don't know if you can hear the rust checker, but we ain't got no floorboard over here. That's okay. It's easy enough to fix. Just rip the whole interior out and then peel that carpet back, and then we'll just do something, I guess. But this dash turned out great. I got one coat of this West Coast stuff on there, interior detailer, and it turned out pretty well. It's soaking it up. Now remember, it was white like this and really dry and crusty, and of course this is just wet still from the cleaner, but it turned out pretty good for what it is. So I think I'll put another couple coats on there of Armor All. I'm actually going to get the real stuff. This stuff doesn't really seem to work. And we should have us a cleanish dash, I guess. But I'm going to do the same trick that I did with the Impala when I park it for the winter, is I just coat the thing with Armor All, let it sit and soak it up, because it needs it. It needs it. All right, the dash, you can see it's all, we got the Armor All in there. We're just going to let it soak, and it's real Armor All. It's not that stuff over there. But while that's soaking, I don't really feel like working on the inside of it. The back, we'll clean that out here in a little bit. I don't know. Interior detailing is oofed. I want to kind of start taking care of some of the outside stuff while we're in here detailing it. So, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to show you. On Bert, we got license plates covering up the rust. And I get a hell of a lot of compliments on this truck, just as the way that it is. Do I ultimately want the Caprice to be just like the Impala? Yep. And it will. I think it's going to be a, maybe this winter project to be determined. But for the meantime, these rust holes, I'm going to just patch them with license plates. Yep. So we got both fenders, quarter panel, and that, I got me a case full of zip ties. I got some pretty good license plates that I'm going to use, and we're going to get this thing just patched up. So surprisingly, I'm going to start underneath the hood. Yep. This general area. And we're going to pull the battery out because the battery looks terrible. And I don't think it has a very good battery tray. So let's look at that. It does look like the one size fits all, you know, plier size. Take that off. Got a new thing. That, of course, is our positive. And then it'd be a good time to get this damn power wire thing out of here. Now the ground wire, it looks like it's just got a bolt in it. Come on. And the battery tie down is missing because it's loose. But that is our ground. So battery should come on out now. Oh, and yes. Definitely a whole lot of shit going on down in there. Definitely was chewing up the base of this battery, but you know, we got a newer battery just as of January, and it's a NAPA, so that's good. But here is a closer look at what we got going on here. Don't like that. Looks like not even bolted down. That's cool. And oh well. Rust hole. Let me guess. This one's not screwed down either. No, it's not. Okay. So we got battery tray issues going on right here. Not to fear. I have a plan. Where the hell does that ground go? That goes all the way back somewhere. Interesting. So I don't know what the deal is with this. It goes from a big wire over here, and then it goes to a really tiny ass wire. So, and I can't pull that up underneath. So we're just gonna go ahead and nip it there, pull it out, throw you over there, and then we're gonna go ahead and fish out the rest of this BS. Who knows where you go to? I don't know. It looks like to this damn stupid alarm. Yeah, let's try to steal 94 Caprice. Anyways, why? Just, it's okay, calm down. They crisped it. They did exactly what I would have done. I know, but just, you know, have some courtesy for the next guy and do that. Weight reduction. If this is still rattly, just, you know, tighten it up, but I don't know. What do we got going on down there? Just don't look. Don't look. I do see that our hose is missing from here. Where's that go? Must go to condenser here. So it looks like I already talked about it, but the compressor is down there. I don't know. Maybe we'll figure all this out here. Jack the car up. Look underneath. All right. Oh. Creative. Didn't even see that there. Yeah, the whole thing is just gone. Core support. Here's all those hoses that rot out for the evap stuff. That everyone's like, well, you just, I don't understand why you got a check engine light on. It's because those hoses sit right underneath the battery. The batteries leak acid on them and rot them out, and they're only 35 years old. So, you know, stuff wears out. It's not infinity. It's not infinity and beyond. All right, what am I going to do here? I did go through cover the Impala up because I'm going to spray some surface shield down here, and I don't want to overspray all over the car. So this PB Blast surface shield works really good. Shake it up and just kind of, you know, spray it on all this junk down in here. Just to help slow some stuff down. Is it going to protect? For now, it'll get us through the summer. Probably a little overkill, to be honest with you, but it'll do its job on what I want it to do. So protect what is there. Now that's going to be including this rust hole because we're gonna cover it up, but let's help try to preserve what we got. You know, let's not make it any worse. I guess while I'm at it, we'll worry about that other side here a little bit. Just really want to focus on the meat and potatoes over here for right now. Done. So here we are. I reused the one that was in there. Just put some self-tappers in there. Nice and secured for the moment. I also had an old whistle board post sign that secured it up. So that's good to go. Now I also have this battery tray that I'm going to try to fit in here. I've had these now for a while and they kind of fit in there tight. So that's the goal. I'm going to try to get this at least in here so the battery can sit in something and not flop around on some bare sheet metal and take a risk of splitting another cell. Okay, so the plastic thing didn't work. So what I did is I built this little makeshift cribbing with a couple of these little slat things that I had laying around. They're almost just a little thicker than paint sticks, but some self-tappers in there. I had to take the strap that's out of the battery tray thing that I had. Now we'll put the battery back in here and we'll at least have it strapped down so it doesn't go blowing away, because that'd be bad. Okay. Very specific for body work on these holes. Get you a license plate. Something that'll cover up the whole thing. Got a piece of cardstock here that's roughly the same size as the license plate, and go ahead and put it on where you think it's going to work, and then you're going to get some kind of a marking device and trace it off. Then take your pair of scissors and cut the cardboard, trace it onto the template here, onto the license plate, and cut it off. So I'm going to use a flat edge here, flat edge on the bumper. I think that'll be fine, and then it's going to go up and just be kind of license platey, if you will. So I'll be about right there. And I want to not get into this body side molding, so something like that. Then we're gonna just trim it. Roughly like that. If your license plate's bent, that's fine. Just grab a hammer, a pair of pliers, bend it back up. Be all right, you'll get it. Something like that. Maybe I will grab a hammer and flatten that up just a touch. Body work done. It is straight. Now you can go ahead and, roughly line up your corners like that. And then you can see the piece that we're gonna just go ahead and trace like that. That's gonna get cut off. And use a pair of tin snips. If you don't have tin snips, side cutters work, like these. And you can just slowly start nipping away at it. Of course, I'm gonna use my tin snips because I hate using side cutters for cutting tin. Darn, thanks for these license plates. They're gonna come up for good use in this Caprice. Dorn was the one that was on Power Tour with us last year, Justin's dad and Zach's dad. And he sent me all these license plates after Power Tour last year because Bert had quite a few of them. He's from California, so they come in useful. And now, cut roughly like that. we'll put a little bit of a bend in it, and we'll kind of conform it just a little bit to the body of the Caprice here. These are official GM body panels for these Caprices. If you did not know that, well, you do now. So we'll go ahead and do something like that. Hammer up these edges just a touch. Make sure they're good. That's all you do is when you're happy with it, you just, you know, keep working at it, and then you just, it'll be on there. Now to adhere them, I'm going to use the good old GM approved self-tappers. I like to use the ones that are the 7mm head. I like to use them with a quarter inch, or 7mm, whatever you got. But we're going to start at the bottom here. Just a little bit of a bend down there. Careful, we gotta be able to not go too crazy. And I'm gonna start it. That way it sticks. Usually it sticks in there. Like so. Like so. Like so, I said. When you get your body lines perfect, send it home. There. We're going to go back and work one up here. We're going to go up kind of high with this one. That's okay. There we go. We got us patch panel. Only took 10 minutes. And it's not going anywhere. So I'm going to go around, do the other side. That back one's going to be a little fun. We're going to have to get creative with that, but we're going to do similar body panels. Well, jumping back into the interior here really quick, you can see the dash pretty much drank up that entire little bit except for right there. So it definitely needed it. It's dry. That's okay. We'll get a couple more around there, kind of buff it out, see what it looks like when it's, you know, actually has some good juice on it, if you will. I was able to get this fender done. Had to get a little bit bigger of a rust hole taken care of. I just took the piece that we chopped off and popped it behind there, but I think all in all, it looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. It is what it is. I did take some more surface shield and I spritzed it inside here and all over the little brake lines and all sorts of stuff. And the surface shield, it's gonna preserve what's here. It's not gonna stop it or slow it down. It's just gonna preserve it for a little bit longer. And what it does is it collects like the dirt and the grime and everything, and it kind of makes its own natural barrier, but it's like a waxy coating, but it's good enough for what we got here. We can make it look pretty. We can clean it up afterwards, but surface shield, we're good there. So I think I'm gonna do a couple more things here and call it a night. It's getting late and I gotta work tomorrow, so I'll see you in the morning. Not morning, I'll see you tomorrow. Well, it is tomorrow and I am here out back working on this 1994 Chevrolet Caprice, and a couple things that I got into last night before I called it quits was I kind of got the buffer out. And I kind of started buffing on the hood here. I just, I couldn't help myself. I looked over at the Impala and I was like, So I grabbed the buffer. I actually buffed this. I tried just doing the polishing trick that I did earlier, but it didn't really take that well. As you can see, I got the wool pad out, and I went through and actually wool padded the rest of it. And, well, it is what it is. So this isn't coming back. It's obviously faded to the point of no return, but maybe make it look a little bit better. Probably just gonna polish the sides where I can and call it good. I'm not gonna worry about the roof because I hate doing roofs, and well, it's got the same peel on it, and this is gonna be kind of a chore. So worked on that just today as I'm out here. I'm back in the back, still working on making rust repairs to this beast. And the back side now here is open. I was able to get the third row seat folded up, and as I mentioned, it's really, really nice. There's nothing wrong with that. But I got this crevasse open up. This is where the spare tire goes, and it's honestly, the spare tire looks like it was trying to be held on by some kind of a bungee cord system thing going on, some bath tile mat or something. I don't know what the hell's going on with that, but it's not good. And the hole over here is going to allow a ton of water to come in and make it even worse and basically deteriorate the car when it was being driven in the rain or the snow. So I'm going to go through, pull all that crap out of it. We're going to get down to the nitty-gritty, open it up, and we're going to rebuild this trunk to the best of our ability. So not that I would openly have open containers in the back of a vehicle, but you know, not going to lie, the back of this wagon, I got quite the view here. Fireworks. You know, a lake, breeze, something like that, beverage. You know, gets you out of the rain a little bit. If it's raining, you can still watch a thunderstorm come in. You know, Coca-Cola and Sam Adams from American Dream. Anyways, so I don't know what this whole thing going on here is. I don't. It's like, I don't know. And I also don't know what this whole bath mat thing was about. Oh my God. Well, oh my God. Wow. Well, I guess let me get you in here and show you what we got, because it ain't getting any prettier. Well, it's wide open, you know, airflow, a little bit of exhaust coming in, and That's no longer attached. That's okay. We don't need that. But I don't know what I just touched. That's gross. It's very wet. I don't know if the moisture comes from this corner, leaks in from the tail light. I don't remember if that's what the problem was with these cars. I don't care really, because we still have the problem here of no floor. So I know what you might be thinking. Well, Chris, the proper way to fix that is going to be to rip the whole quarter panel apart, skin it off, get a new wheel well, put a new wheel well in it, drill out all the spot welds on the pinch tab, put a new one on, you know, remove all the seam sealer, put all the new seam sealer in there. I know. But I'm not going to do that, because sitting right there, we have a big pile of metal. And as you saw on the top, there is a brand new GM bottom of the quarter panel rust hole repair kit that we're going to use. And we're going to rebuild this like it never happened. So I need to figure out how to morph it into Mighty Morphin's Power Rangers. But first I'm going to clean it out with some more vacuuming. Wow, there's a problem. The drain hole on the bottom wasn't unclogged, so it got rotted out. Well, anyway, we started popping the bottom piece, you know, back into place. That's what you got to do on these. You got to start, you know, Michelangeloing them back together, if you will, putting the rust back to where it needs to be. Our piece that was hanging was this. It was flopping, as we saw in another video. And I think it lives right there because it, you know, it's kind of solid, but, you know, it's kind of solid, but kind of not. So I think, you know, that's some prior fiberglass work, if I've seen some, if I'm not lying, but I think I am. Anyways, we have to reconnect all that. So we're going to start small by getting some patch panels together, and we're going to just start rebuilding this from the ground up. Not really, because, well, I guess it is, because there's a ground and we're up. Trying to bring this down to a level where you can actually see what's going on here. So what I did is I got those scrap license plates from yesterday, and I don't think I've ever had to work in a nice, more comfortable chair than this, because this is pretty cool sitting back here, just, you know, body work, sitting on a nice third row bench. Who'd have thunk it? All right, so we're gonna take this and you know, we gotta screw it into some good metal and get the thing kind of back to a shape that is good. And the cut end is the one that you want to put up against, you know, the corner over here. You know, something like that, I would think. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Now we're gonna have to get in and, you know, do some big boy work here. We're gonna have to go with the screws that are for 8mm, not the little chintzy smaller, you know, self-tapper screws that we got going on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start by screwing it into the good part of the metal, which is gonna be something like right here. If I can do this without dropping everything. Right in here, the good metal. Something like that. Lines up. Perfect. Right through the hole, so you know it's gonna hold up well. And, you know, it's movable like that, so we can, you know, just kind of get it in like so. Now, we're gonna probably have to put a couple in here. That's all right. I don't want to keep getting tetanus. I'm up to date on my shots or not, but whatever. Yeah, it's not gonna hold right there. So let's find a longer screw to jam in there so we can bite into some metal. You can see we already got support functionality, you know, underneath there. So that's good. That's good. Next, I was crunching my. So for right there, they got these plastic license plates now. You buy a new car, they apparently do this, and don't ever shop there. I don't really care for them too much. But they gave us a plastic license plate that we're gonna bury here, never to be spoke of again. And we're gonna just, you know, tuck it up in here. Run it down over here. And yeah. Now again, we want to use short ones because our tire is underneath there, and the tire flexes. We don't want to take a tire out. That'd be dumb. I know what you're thinking. That's probably not going to be strong enough to hold a spare tire. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Oh, I agree with you. I 100% agree that it won't. So we got to fix it. So how am I going to fix that? You say, well, it's probably never been shown on YouTube before because it's a trade secret. And right here, you got yourself a little bit of what they call a spot weld, another spot weld. And spot welds are just as strong as self-tapper screws. Self-tapper, in my opinion, is a little stronger, but one could argue it. But we got to firm up the bottom of it, and we are going to do that with our self-tapper spot weld. But we got to make it droop all the way across from here over to there, so we have kind of a cradle underneath the tire, so the tire can, you know, have some weight on it and, you know, not blow through the bottom of our hard work we just did. Are you asking, what is that trade secret you're trying to tell us, Christopher? These. I have a whole bunch of these. If you don't know what they are, they're filing cabinet slider holder things. But it's a folded up piece of steel that will work very well that a self-tapper will go through. So the plan is if we strategically place these down and they form them and we bend them in the bottom here, it'll kind of put some tension more off of the middle here and off to the sides, and then we'll take another one, strap it from here, which is solid, there's a frame rail underneath here, over and up, and then we'll go to the spare tire rack, which comes up to these spot welds, and then we're back to, you know, just a normal, like GM built it. So I'm gonna mock this up, and then we got I'm going high level here, high level. So they're going to look something like that, and it's, yeah, that's pretty solid. Ain't going nowhere. We're gonna, you know, make some McRibs and, I don't know, some other kind of sandwich in here, and we'll, I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Look at that. Yeah, we made a spider cage rib thing, and you know, it's all there, it's all connected, and that spare tire will fit in there just fine, and I won't have any issues. This is all tightened up now, and we're good to go. So once you've gotten your concoction where you need it to go, you might be asking, well, how are you going to waterproof it? Well, spray foam. Yeah. Got a couple cans laying around. So we're going to spray foam it. Part of the reason why we put the little crib in there is a bridge to kind of protect it from the spray foam and tire bouncing and whatnot. But we got to go through and do some prep work to it. Now I'm going to spray foam up over in here. Going to put something up. all the way in that little crack and crevice, down over here. We're gonna spray foam all of this, and the hole on the bottom, we're gonna spray foam that. And of course the one that's over here as well, that's gonna get spray foam too. Now we want to do this step now because once we put our license plates on, we don't want spray foam coming out. So we gotta get this step right. We gotta do it now, and we gotta tape it off. So get yourself some tape. Doesn't matter what you got. Ooh, just had a good idea. Extra layerage for the inside of there with some tape there. Maybe I'll use that because I think that's honestly all that I have. So, yep, that's what I'm gonna use. Now, don't be stealing my idea here and patent pending it without, you know, at least putting my face or something on the setup. I mean, poverty chrome gets you home, and that's what we're doing here. So I'm gonna put a couple more pieces on here, and honestly, I think I'm gonna use this going forward. It works out pretty well. Maybe down over there. But yeah, it acts like a tin foil and a baked potato. It's gonna kind of hold in what we can and let that foam set up. And then, yep, I'm just gonna leave it on here and we'll cover the rest with license plates. All right, so we got some of that tape in here covering up some holes. Good enough. And outside here, I'm actually pretty impressed at how well that turned out. So that duct tape, the actual stuff, not the fake plastic stuff, the stuff that you're using for little sheathing and stuff, it works out pretty well. I also take this and any exposed wires around heat areas, I'll just like wrap it around there and kind of give it a little heat protection. Works out pretty well, especially wire looms, keeps them from melting. So if you don't have any of that, put some in your toolbox. Today's flavor of spray foam is the Big Gaps by GE, and it's of course been used before, but that's okay. We're just going to cut the straw and use what's left in this can. It's about a half a can. Word to the wise, word to your mother, whatever you want to say, Vanilla Ice, is this stuff will get on your hands. It gets on carpet. It gets on all sorts of stuff. So be ready to wipe it off. Something you don't want it on, because it will stick to whatever you don't want it to. And then especially if it gets in carpet, it's going to turn out like shit. So just be very careful when using it. I heard it do something, but not what I think it needs to do. The tip is still clogged. I thought you were supposed to get away from that kind of stuff with these. Okay, clean it off. Okay, I guess it's one-time use only. So let's go grab the other can that I wasn't wanting to use. All right, so General Electric, GE, EMD, Elko, whatever kind of spray foam you got, use it. Whole can, and we're gonna get it all where it needs to be. I'm gonna start with down here because that's more important, and then I'm gonna work my way up. Whoa. Guess be liberal with it, why don't you? Let that set up, do its thing. While it's setting up, oh, I thought I missed a spot. I'm gonna clean up and grab some food while it's setting up. All right, back. Got some dinner in me. Foam job did pretty well, I think. It's pretty solid, pretty solid. Don't see any of my drip mat that I have that dripped out on the floor. Didn't really ooze out in any weird little spots. A little bit up there, but I was expecting it to be a lot worse, so that's good. So now I'm going to continue on getting our outside of our patch panels taken care of. But that's going to be screwing on some more to the outside here. But hey, it's good. So back onto these California ones. I think we're going to use probably that one, and that beat up one will be a cut upper, and yeah, it looks like we're going to have to take some screws out of it, but that's all right. Start with this one here. We're going to go like something like that. Yeah. Not throwing too much thought into it. You just gotta go for it. Just gotta go for it. Some people might say it's AI. And you might be right. However, you know, it does what it needs to do. Make sure a door closes. Oh, look at that. It closes. Shocking how that all seems to just work out like it's been done before. How about that? Because that's better metal. And then we want one right there. All right, this side, did the same thing with some Michigan plates. Got this hole covered up. It's not the greatest, not the worst, but works. So unfortunately, we got to call it quits here for tonight on this 94 Caprice wagon. Not for anything relevant. I got to clean up some stuff. I got trash day tomorrow. I got a big pile of trash back there, and I got to get it cleaned up, pick up some tools, sweep, and whatnot. I think we did a pretty good job getting those license plates all on here, foaming up the back, and just rebuilding it, if you will. So I'm gonna call it a night, and I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Well, it is not tomorrow. It's actually a few days later. Got caught up with working, and I didn't really want to come out here the last couple nights, so I am back out here today working on this 94 Caprice, and I didn't get much cleaning done. I just, I didn't. I was lazy. So today, I'm going to start by finish foam padding up that hood, get that all cleaned up. We're going to do a wipe down. I am not going to do the rest of the car right now because I want to pull this thing outside. I want to get it in the sun, and I want to clean up the garage a little bit. And, we'll get it back inside. I want to jack it up, and I actually want to look underneath the car to see, how bad it is. And probably fix that driver's side floorboard because I have a feeling it is bad. And now that I'm thinking about it, I did not even check the passenger side to see if this one is as bad as well. So, yeah. It's not good. It's not. It's not good. It's not. Oh boy. Wish I hadn't looked at it. Well, it is what it is. So I'm going to clean up some stuff. Like I mentioned, finish foam padding, and we'll get this thing pulled out. All right, so I got the battery reinstalled. We are going to have to address this ground wire. I don't like it, but it is what it is. You can see the surface shield in here is still all shiny. That's kind of was the hope. Prevent any more rust from accruing, I guess. Probably going to have to address this hole at some point with some kind of a license plate or something, but for right now, we're going to shut her down. Ooh, rust falls off when you slam the hood. I did get the hood all kind of polished up here. Didn't really go that deep into it. Hit it with some spray wax, that stuff, to wipe off any excess, and it didn't really do that great of a job, but it is what it is. So time to back this thing out. We'll get the garage cleaned out, bring it back in, and we'll jack it up. I'm probably going to pull the Impala out as well, and I think we're going to put it in the middle of the garage here and spread its wings. And probably just strip out the interior just to get to those floors and make sure that they're, you know, done okay-ish. Like that. Okay, in the garage, time to jack it up, and I think I'm gonna put it on jack stands, and we'll get it up about as high as we can get it so we can, you know, get underneath it. Well, I was just doing this. Well, no rear sway bar? Oh, that sucks. All right, so just like any car, you're gonna wanna check it over once you actually get it lifted up and into the air. This one, if we decide we wanna take it on a car trip, long haul, I wanna make sure that it's actually good to make a 12-hour trip to the UP or something. I don't know, you know, but I do know that this has some issues, and I don't know if you can tell, but the tire, I showed it on the first video, you can kind of see it's balding on the inside, or on the outside. So that's from toe or camber or whatever, which way it was. The tire's doing this when it's sitting down there. It's doing this. So it's wearing on this outside here a little bit too much. Next thing, that's good. A little drag on it. Might have, it might even be just a little bit of slop on the front end with the ball joints. Definitely something to look into, but that's usually what I'll do. I'll give it a spin, I'll shake it, see if it's got any clunking on it for the wheel bearings, see if they're packed bad or not. You know, just any odd play, movement, top to bottom. Oh, like that. Hear that? Might have some bearings starting to go out on this. Or maybe it's a ball joint. I don't know yet. We'll get the tire off here in a little bit and check it out. But yeah, otherwise looks pretty decent. From what I can see, the rubber line feels pretty good. Looks like we got a newer upper control arm. Yeah, so overall not too bad. Move on to the driver's side. Now let's come over here to the driver's side. I'm noticing a lot more wear on the inner fender well here, rot hole, which I knew that was there. We'll just fix it later. Tire. Little bit of slop in it. It's got a little bit of slop as well. Maybe the bearings again are bad on this, but spins pretty free. The brake drag is a little bit the same. We got a newer hose over here, so that's good. Looks like this actually got a newer upper control arm as well. So I would assume they would have done ball joints at that time. So let's get underneath and look at the front end parts. So as we start here, we can see that the transmission oil cooler has got some hoses on it. So it's been replaced. Some parts have been replaced on it. Probably was leaking at some time. Underneath here, get some light on. Everything looks pretty well normal. Little excessive play up there in the sway bar linkage. We got, it's pretty solid. We got a little bit of grease coming off of the pitman arm here. You know, all the linkage and everything underneath here looks pretty good. I don't like how that hose would rub on there, but that's not a today fix. That's the wrong nut. That should be a castle nut with a cotter key. So I don't like that. So we'll have to address that. What else? Looks like maybe this tie rod end is, maybe it's bent a little bit. I don't know. That ball joint has seen some better days, it looks like. I don't know if it's, maybe it's just got some caked on stuff. Pump it full of grease, it'll probably be all right. We got some older shocks on it, so that could definitely be replaced. And over here as well, kind of the same old. So someone's definitely been up in here with that castle nut missing. But the old timer was trying to adjust out the alignment without taking it to a shop. I don't know. Either way, let's move on, see what else we got under this car. As we get right back where the oil pan is, we can see we got a leak, and it could be, hopefully, well, looks like the filter is leaking. You can see where that, you tried to do the filter delete, left the lines on there. It is what it is. I don't really care for that filter, but it was probably leaking a heck of a lot less than what it was. Do we still got the, well, it's got the brand, look at that brand new line. Why is that? It's like a brand new line to the transmission or to the radiator, and it's not hooked up. Okay, well, maybe it's because there's a catalytic converter right here. Speaking of cat, you can see brand new O2 sensor. What else do we got going on here? Brake line is good. Looks like a newer starter. Can't complain with that. I could, but no one's gonna care. Knock sensor's all in place. I feel like I've been here before in Power Tour. Oh no! Seems all intact like it's supposed to be. I mean, no check engine light. Back to the transmission we go. Okay, well, we got the crust starting to form. Definitely got some barnacles and everything in there. And you can see that's where our feet go for the driver's side. New brake line. It's interesting. Put a little bend in that. Use the good stuff. Got unions flared. That's good. All right. Cat. Now we can't really see the passenger side, but we can assume it was crusty up underneath here. Looks like we might have an exhaust leak. Maybe, or it is from the transmission fluid. This thing's leaking pretty good. All right. Had to get off from that creeper. Kind of got a little claustrophobic there. It's okay. Okay, these back floor pans, a little bit more solid than the front because they're at least there. Our drive shaft has seen way better days. Now there was a funny thing with the drive shaft. Oh, with it. Might just be a U-joint. I don't know. We might see if we can clean that up. Yep, crusty. New fuel filter. That's nice. Oh, new muffler. Dang. Exhaust is pretty solid. Usually these exhausts hold up pretty well because they're the T304 stainless steel. Yeah, that is a brand new muffler. Okay. Looks like right here we got some pokages coming through. We got some more soft spots. That's all driver's side. Oh, what do we got again back here? Coilovers. What? How does that even work? Coilovers? Okay. All right. Let's see. What do we have roped off? With some wire, some baling wire. I don't know. That's probably just an odd rattle to have. Line all the way back here. No. Another new one over here. So it's got brand new brake lines. Leak. Looks like our diff is leaking. Fuel tank. Oh, hopefully it's just diff. Yeah. Plastic tank holds up pretty well. Looks like back here is pretty solid. Not seeing anything that sticks out other than our repair that we made. Yeah, that's the underneath. Solid. Hitch. Well, I don't know. It's there. Back trunk pan. Where your feet would sit for, yeah, it's just got a lot of, this is probably the worst of it back here, honestly. And that's pretty natural driving it in Michigan. All the salt will get caught up in there. Exhaust, we still got stock resonators on the back, both sides. Cool. All right, so now that we've done an underside look of the car, we know where our rust problems are. First things first, let's unhook the battery again, get your 8mm, because that's what all GMs are for their side post, and, you know, just unhook your battery. That way when you open up the doors, the dome light doesn't die and kill the battery. Not dome light, die. You know what I meant. You know, I don't really talk good. Da-ding. Da-ding. Now that our battery's unhooked, get WD-40, and yes, get the pure WD-40. Don't get PB Blast, WD-40. And you're going to go through all your little sills here, and you're going to go through all the little sills there, and you're going to spray off these little screw heads. So you want to go ahead and just fill up just a little bit in every single one of these just to get them loose. And the reason why you want to use WD instead of PB, because WD won't eat your plastic or melt it off or anything weird like that. It works well for these ones too if you got to fix those. So I'm going to go through all of the ones in here, and we're going to fill them up with WD-40, because what it does is it breaks up that grit, grime, grease, any of that kind of stuff that you can see is on these screw heads that, well, you go to try to put a screwdriver in there and they are going to not go. Putting WD-40 in there loosens up that dirt, grime, makes you able to pick it away. Most of the time you can just loosen them up right with a screwdriver anyway. So, oh, these ones are already missed. Oh, they're still there. So I'm going to finish this up and then we'll move on to the next step of probably unscrewing that stuff. Almost forgot while you're WD-40ing stuff, these little caps that are on the seats, get those as well. I didn't even think they had them on there, to be honest with you. Get it on the carpet, it don't matter. But do the front backs, get them all taken care of. Ripping out a interior is pretty interesting. You got to have a place to put it all, so you're not trampling on top of it. You can either put it on top of the car, or you can put it wherever. So I'm going to start with removing the back seat. We're just going to start stacking it up in the corner of the garage here. But pulling out a back seat's pretty easy. Let me show you how to do that. So for probably 70 years or so, GM liked to just have kind of the same fasteners on these back seats. And they're like a wire setup. And bottom side here, it's got a little spring wire, baling wires, something. You kind of got to push it in and then up. And you can see how it just undid itself. We'll do the same over on that side. And just like that, you're able to pull out your back seat. Now you do have to fish out the seat belts, get those out and through, and just remember how it goes together, because we're going to want to make sure that it goes back together the same exact way. All right, what treasures do we have here? We have an auto wash coupon. Good weather guaranteed free wash. Standale Auto Wash. 2016. Okay. Got a receipt for can't really make it out. Huh. Ooh, razor blades. Got a busted tape measure. It's in a bazillion pieces. That's fun. That is fun. Oh, got some naproxen sodium. Brand new. Okay. Eclipse gum. All right. Another receipt that's faded. Auto AC. Don't know what that is. Little battery. What's this? Felt pads. Well, we're not going to use those. Basically just junk. Whole lot of junk. That's quite a plane. Also got another one over there. You really probably can't see it, but it's there. Does that make me a plane nerd? No. All right, so it should be noted that if you don't have your A-pillar sail panels here removed, you probably should remove those before you remove these, because they do need to come off because they overlap right here on the corners. Mine are already off, so we're going to start by pulling these out. That's not the right size. Get yourself a couple different bits, because you just never know which guy was in here before, you know, just taking care of business. That wasn't me. And then, you know, you just got the wrong ones in there. Let's try the one that I did in WD-40 first. That came out. Always have a tray ready. Needed the two-handed method. A little bit more pressure on it. So once you get these off, you can see they're longer. So if you had to replace them, they're longer ones. This should peel right off, and then you're going to see that you'll have your kick panel right there, and this little piece is going to have to come off as well. Sometimes it's bolted on right up over here, up there, but if not, like this one, they just come off. I should have a couple clips right here. Make sure those clips don't get lost or stolen. Put them in our pile to begin. Disassembly. That's what we're doing, is disassembly. Next thing, these panels got to come off, which I think you can just move them back, if I'm not mistaken, up out of the way, so we can get this panel off. And Before that one comes off, you gotta remove the back door sill panel. It's all coming back to me, Christopher. It's all coming back. We've done this before. Why? That's the beauty of that WD-40 trick, is it'll loosen up and it'll come out just like that. Don't want to break it now. Come on now. Well, I guess you're staying in there. Sometimes the screws like to stay in there and we just leave them. All right, I'm gonna go yank this apart and be back with you when I'm ready to pull the seat. Once you get all this stuff taken out and you got the caps removed off of here, it's a simple 1/2 inch. You should be able to get all these off. There should be 8 of them roughly. Transmission tunnel engaged. All right, let's see if we can get this wire harness undone. Simple little wire clip right here. You're gonna have one underneath each seat, and we should be able to just depress this little tab. You might need to get a little kind of pick tool or something, it's flathead, and get it off. So let me try to do this here. Need 2 hands. Can you see if I leave it right here? Can you see it? My phone is holding up the chair. Okay, cool. Push me, and then just touch me so I can get my... I know you guys said it. You said the words. Don't stab yourself now. It's not be good. Push. There we go. Well, get out of there. Didn't mean to scream at you there, but I did. Come on now. What, are you sticky? Oh. All right, need another tool. Flathead it. There. Just like that. You know, nothing to it. All right, so now you should be able to get it off its pedestal and split, so you'll be able to do this one by itself. You have to get that one here in a second. But you should be able to just carefully peel them back and take them out. So that right there underneath all of the passenger seats, and no matter what Impala, Caprice, whatever you got, you're going to have the build sheet. And the build sheet's going to have your VIN number on it right up here. So you can also check and see if you got the 8th digit being a P, that it is a LT1 car. And then if it's a true Impala SS, it'll have a WX3 on there instead of a 509. But we can see that this car was built, or at least the seat, the car was built on March 4th, 1994 at 17:59, almost 6 p.m. for the slow. So this was number 94111500. That's when it was built. Kind of a neat little thing. So the Impala still got it in there, and I know I talked about it in that video that I did, but it's the build sheet. Every single one of these cars is going to have one, and I just found a quarter. Sweet. I'm rich. This car's paying off. I'm up to like 82. A year off from my birth. All right. I'm going to get these seats out. Move on to the seat belts. All right. For the seat belts, you got this little weird, almost looks like a giant Phillips, and it kind of is. But you got to twist it. You can pretty much do it with your hand, and it just comes off like that. And inside you're gonna see giant Torx. I think it's a T50. So you're gonna want to get one of those T50s and go ahead and you know, just undo them. So if I can get it, you know, I'm not. Well, okay. Well, this one is a T50. I know that because it fits. But this one might be a little smaller. Might be T45. But let me. Yeah. Science, math, technology. So yes, T45 for the one on the floor and T50 for the other one. Why? I don't know, but undo this little clip. This is for your seatbelt light. Another one of these awesome clips. And take out your other one, and then we should be ready to yank this carpet out. No, we're going to have to pull this part off too. Okay, let me get these out. Once the belts are out, this thing should just pop pretty much right off. If I remember right, maybe a couple, yeah, just like that. And this one down here, same thing, pops off. I do got to spray that bolt down because we don't want, you know, stripping out in there. So get that all defarted. You got this little insulation thing that's right here. This will hopefully fix it. It's not supposed to be like that. Then we're gonna have one that's down here that's got to come out as well. So pretty simple. We'll get those off, and then we should be able to get the carpet yanked out. Okay, so now we've gotten all the inside all taken apart to the point now where we can actually start lifting up this carpet. I did go through and vacuum it out again, and yeah, this is wonderful. So, oh hey, there's a random glove. That's cool. Let's go ahead and just start peeling your carpet up and then pull it out through whatever door you possibly can. I think we're just gonna try to get it out over here, I guess. It is what it is. It is crusty. That's what it is, and wet. Oh, yeah. Oh. All right. Now save on the carpet because we're gonna be reusing it. Parts falling on the floor. That's fine. That's fine. We're gonna fix those. Huck Tua. Yeah, Huck Tua. Huck Tua. Yeah. Huck Tua. Scratch the paint. Well, no wonder why it was so damn loud while we were driving. Yeah, at least we got support over there. That's good, but that's not good. So we got to patch that. This still, that's okay for right now. And we got a couple holes back there and over there. Now these back pans where the ass is, or your seat and the back seat, are they good? Somewhat. I mean, I've seen worse. I mean, right there. Same thing looks like over that side. So I don't think we need a plug where we're going. I'm going to try to get all these wires all taken up and, you know, possibly figure it out here on something. So I need to remind thee that I still have just the price of the car into this project. Everything else, license plates, everything else we've done, cleaned it up, that has been stuff that I've had on hand And I've actually made money off of it from the change that's in the car. I don't know how much, maybe, well, I'm just going to say $1. Ting. But what's your point? You say, well, just do shit with the shit that you have at your shitting house. So shit's in my shitting house. So this can of red Rust-Oleum has been sitting on my shelf, my shitting shelf now, for a while. And it's red. But it's free, so the price is right. Does it match the car? No, it does not. What am I going to do with it, you ask? Well, I'm going to use it to treat the rust that is currently here on the floorboards. On the floorboards, yes, yes. Is anyone ever going to see it? No, because it's red. It's the floorboards. It's going to get covered up. Who cares? But it's Rust-Oleum. If you look at Project Farms, they did an episode here where Rust-Oleum was just as good as your POR15, and we owe POR15 Angus, but you know what? That was expensive. That was expensive. So I'm going to use this to start. I might actually have some other stuff up there. I'm just looking at it right now. I might change to something else, but I'm going to spritz it with this to start, and we might put another coat on it. All right, one can down. Actually, that took one coat, so, you know, it's red. That's fine. I got this can of blue, and I think I got another can of blue or yellow or something. I don't know. I don't care. I just want something to coat it because it's going to be covered up. So I'm going to start back here in the trunk. I'm going to spritz everything back here because it's blue, and it's somewhat blue back here. You know, it is what it is, so... Oh my gosh, that's like super bright blue. Okay, well, that works. At least it'll be rust protected. That's what we're after. So there's what it should look like, something like that. Lay it on thick. Use up what you got. You get runs in it, that's fine. It'll get into all the porous areas. So this actually could probably use another coat, now that I'm looking at it. And it will get another coat. And I'm just going to fix the patch panels first, and then we're going to coat it. Yeah, we're going to fix these up. So, I was just sitting here huffing paint fumes. And then my big brain hit and said, hey, we painted all this. We fixed all this side. That was pretty gross. Yeah. What's to say this side isn't as gross? So then I started thinking, well, let's just look. Mistake number one was to look. That is carpet right there. That is a problem. Mistake number two, I looked, and we got, you know, where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's that? We got that little thing going on there. Oh, yeah, right where my hand's at. I don't know if you can see that or not. Hopefully you can see that. But what is that, you might ask? Well, that's a seatbelt. Okay. So, not the end of the world. We're gonna, I guess, continue on ripping out this interior like I didn't plan on doing, but we're just gonna do it anyway. Might as well, we're here. But, before I get on that, dinner time. I'm gonna go eat some dinner, and I'll be back out here in a little bit. Let the paint dry and everything too. I'm back, and I got this back panel pulled off, and just as suspected, it has got a giant hole in it, and then, of course, you can see the seatbelt is, you know, just hanging out there. Down here, we got some holes. You can see where our license plates covered it up. I don't know if I have any more expanding foam. I'm going to look. If I do, I'm going to put it in there. If not, well, not quite sure what I'll do. I ain't going to buy any more foam. That's for sure. Well, no expanding foam in the spare, but I have lots and lots and lots of caulk. It's free. That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to start by vacuuming up the odds and ends here. I'll probably spray some of that, paint on the back side of this just because. And then, I don't know what flavor we'll use, something. Either way, start with vacuuming out and paint. Kind of my last random can of Rust-Oleum, and it just so happens to be yellow, so it is what it is, I guess. Just douse it in there. What does it say? Flood it, make it rain. Yeah, something like that. Getting all those little nooks and crannies. So while I'm at it, I'm going to get the little top of this wheel well. Let's see if I can peel it back and get to that seat belt too, because that's kind of concerning. Well, there she is, one securely fastened, safety belt that is not completely rotted off at all. That's cool. And we're left with the hole. I think I'm going to take that speaker out. Should be 7 millimeters. And we'll assess it here a little bit closer. So I popped the other side off, and that one seems to be fine. This one's the only one that is the issue. Going to repair this one just a little bit different. First, we're going to take off the tire, and we're going to get access to our hole. Not the greatest. It's not. I'm concerned with those two holes. And then probably something worth there and right there, all that good stuff. On the plus side, looks like we got newer back brakes, so that's good. Can't complain there. So as in tradition, I'm just gonna lob this license plate in half. We're gonna use it for hatch panels, except for we're gonna zip them in from underneath this time. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Now, quite a delicate process we're going to do here is, we're going to make sure it fits up there, something like that. And then we're just going to, with a big self-tappers. Oh, I lost it. Something like that. And hopefully we'll get it. And there's no water in the car is the goal. So I was going to use this lizard skin stuff that I've had for a couple of years now, but that's dried up. Some other caulks are dried up as well. I do have this half one that I'm going to put in here. We're just going to smear it all on the top. Then I'm probably just going to grab a rubber glove and I'm going to work it in there just to, make sure it sticks, I guess. There we go. We got them patched up and they ain't going to leak. Well, it might dribble, but a lot better than what it was. So I'm going to do the same thing down here. Looks like we got... Is that light coming in down there? Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. We might have to get creative. Get some more. Yeah, I got a hole right here that I can stick my hand up in there. That's gonna let water in. We don't want that. What can we do? This is where, oh, hello. I guess we got some goop to take care of. Anyways, I guess this is where some expanding foam would be nice. Moving on to this front panel over here. I had this random flashing for something. I don't know what it's for. it works. It's thin enough. It appears would cut with tin snips, so let's just give her a little nip. Yeah. So it's obviously something for the house, but we're going to use it for floor pans, because why not? And the best way I'm going to do is I'm just going to zip it down to the floor, kind of up in there. We're just going to stretch it out, and then I'm going to just cut it on the fly, and we'll make the panels work as need be. So let's go. Oh, we go way up there, damn. Well, we're already going to have to nip it because we got to get it over more to get it lined up. So, you know, we'll just call it one piece somewhere right there. Even better. Something like that. Like that. Hopper. Body hammers will do. Well, come back next day, and I'm back here doing this car work, you know, stuff to it. Let me show you what I got done. We got a driver's side floor pan. Now, I did decide last minute just to go with same stuff we used over there. Got a couple of these back patches patched up as well, and I got that little hole over there patched up as well. Well, because I was just, I'm lazy. I had that stuff, I used it on one, might as well use it on the other, and my Visa sign there, I didn't want to cut that up because that takes getting out the cutoff wheel. And I wasn't feeling like getting the cutoff wheel out, okay? All right. So it did dawn on me last night, too, as I was laying in bed thinking about this thing, that lizard skin stuff that is right there, it's like, dang it, that would have been good to use on the floor for sound deadening. Then I wouldn't have had to buy any. Well, then it dawned on me, I had two of them. This one's unopened because when I did Bert, I had figured that I was going to need two, and I just needed about half of the one. So I have low hopes that this is still any good, but let's find out, because if it is, we're going to start doing the floor up. Well, that sucks. I'm sure that freezing and thawing had absolutely nothing to do with it drying out. Completely just dried out. Yeah. Like, it's not even halfway salvageable. It's all the way cured. Dang it. Okay, so I made a managerial decision because I don't, like I said, don't want to spend any money on this, and you guys might be doing the same exact thing with just materials that you have laying around your house as well. And what I'm going to do is, up on my shelf up there, I have some different Rust-Oleum paints. It's more paint on, brush on style stuff. I'm going to cover the floor in that. It didn't have sound deadening like I wanted to put in here to begin with in it originally. So I'm just going to go with it. And if it has the oil can click, clunk, clunk, clunk sound here as we start driving it, I mean, if the carpet and everything's easy enough to pull up, I'll get a couple strips of it and I'll put it on here at a future date. But again, this build today, this whole thing was to do as cheap as possible with a $0 amount, excuse me, stuff with junk that I had laying around the house and you might have laying around your house. I don't know. So let me get that paint down and start the process. Okay, so this is what I have is I got a gloss royal blue. I have a black. I have a gloss black. I have gloss sunrise red, flat black, and then I got another gloss black up there. Which one would you use? I'm going to use the royal blue because I honestly don't see me using royal blue for anything else, and it's a floor pan, and who's going to look at the damn floor pans? Anyways, and the car is somewhat blue. It's dark green, gray, metallic. So I'm going to use this gloss blue. It's oil-based. Maybe I'll use that. I don't know. I got to look at this because this other one says it's for other stuff. Protective enamel. Oil-based. Oil-based. Stops, hides rust. Well, maybe we'll use that one because it says, well, they all say stops rust. Yeah. Royal blue it is. Okay, so no rhyme or reason on where you're going to start. Just kind of start in a spot and go. And, I don't even know if this paint's any good, to be honest with you. I've had it for a couple of years, and I know it's been sitting for a while before that, but, we're going to find out. Oh, yeah, look at that, royal blue. Yummy. So, what are we going to do with this? I have an old paintbrush from project here from about a month ago, I guess. Put them in plastic bags. It'll hold, and it'll still be wet. Even though it's a different color, it doesn't matter. It is what it is. Paintbrush is a paintbrush, even though they're cheap enough. So, best way would be just, don't spill any now. Go ahead and just work it in there, and there's no rhyme or reason on what needs to be done which way. Just work it all in there. Make it all look good. Some stuff I will avoid, kind of like the seatbelt area, because it looks like it's got some specialty something or other on it. I don't know. But, well, that's coating that. I love that. That's perfect. And if I don't have enough, I got black or red or fuchsia or orange. I don't know. I got all sorts of the colors. And just work it in like QR15. And I do want to be careful not to get it on anything that you don't really want it on, like dashboard, dash pad, anything like that. But just kind of get into it. Kind of like let your inner child out and just go to town. Go to town. Cover all that rust up. That's what it does. It stops rust. That's what it says it does. Don't shoot the messenger, okay? I am the messenger in this case. Yep. Doing it upright. Now, if you want, you could probably take your wire harness out and cover all that stuff up, but I don't really want to because I don't care that much. Because the wires are still functioning exactly the same. Alright, let's give another coat in down here where it matters. Again. All this porous stuff, yeah, let's fill this in. Fill it in, Buttercup. And we're just rebuilding the floors is what we're doing. Kind of like what Bob Ross was doing in all his videos. He's like, yes, pretty little, happy little accidents.
Really, you're going to be doing it the price right here. Easy, baby, here. And you're going to make it, just get it all in. Just work it all in there. Just work it.
All right, so I had to break into the black, which is okay because that can was about half and it was honestly not very good, but it worked. And we got all where I wanted to get done, taken care of. Let this dry. We got no noticeable drips underneath, just one on the jack stand there. That's okay. Nothing else really back here, but you do notice I'm oozing out right there, and that's because I came back here to the back section here and we patched up our panel that we had back here and we gooped it up over there, and whatever I had left I just dumped it and kind of spilled it up over there. Apparently I'm leaking on my hoodie, which that's fine because it's just paint, but I'm gonna call that good enough. We fixed the floor, so I'm gonna let this dry. Hopefully I'll be back out here. It's probably not going to be tonight because this stuff's probably going to take 12 hours or so to dry because it's pretty thick. But it'll do what it needs to do. So I'm going to go grab some dinner. And I'm going to probably just meander around for the night. Clean up the garage, and I got some other stuff I can do. Alright, back, and yeah, I found that other stuff that I can do. What is it, are you asking? Well, since I'm already painting, I might as well go ahead and just paint these, or rebuild these wheel wells. You know, make them perfect. I got a bunch of this black paint, Rust-Oleum stuff, and some other junk left. So let's just, we'll just rebuild everything. Why not? While we're painting, I mean, it's not like we can do much more. This is a crucial step that we're doing. Look at that, brand new. Brand new. So I'm going to rebuild this here and let my food digest. See how it turns out. Well, I've been out here about 25 minutes. Busted out the electric DA, did some 120, cleaned up this rim, actually cleaned up pretty well. Cleaned up by hand all the outside rim, got it all good. Comparison, it did start off looking like that, so not bad, not bad. So now I'm probably gonna do something that I'm gonna regret. It is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and paint that. That's right, paint it. And you might not think it's the same paint that an Impala rim should be, wanna be, thingaby. I'll just do it and show you. Behold. Yes, I went black. Why did I go black? Well, because brushing it on with that Rust-Oleum paint that we use for the floorboards ended up smoothing out pretty good, for what it is. Of course, this is high gloss. And the stuff that I ended up using was a flat black. So it's going to soak into the pores. It's going to do the same thing it did on the floor. It should flatten out and it'll dry flat. It's not going to be shiny. So why not? Of course, it's free. That's what we're after here. So I do have some options. If tomorrow I come out here and I'm just like, I don't like that, I can definitely change it up. But at least now we got a good base coat down on it as well, because ultimately they're going to have to get painted. I did think about peeling off all the clear coat. I actually bought some, what is this over here? Some aircraft paint remover. I think that's just going to be too harsh on those rims, so we're just going to send it, see what it does, and if it sucks, I don't know. We'll just sell them and get something else. Or maybe they'll go on Angus and we'll put the BMW rims on here. Who knows? Either way. Well, next day, I was going to take a day and go to the car show in town for the tobacco festival. Just drove by. There's a few cars there. But it's raining. It's raining. I mean, it's cold. Not cold, but I'm going home and gonna work in the garage. Well, I'd say that's a pretty good call because it is raining. Let's get back on the Caprice here and we will get that interior reinstalled. Okay, wire harnesses are all back and in place here. I did have to self-tap or some down. A couple here and there. Those are all good to go. Now it's time to get this carpet put back in. Got to be careful. The paint is a little tacky, but I mean, if it gets on there, it is what it is. So I'm going to get this thrown in. That. I just scratched the paint on this collector car. You idiot. Gosh. Can you just even go to the front of this one? Maybe. Sun's coming out now. That's okay. Took the liberty of spraying these door panels because they were blue and they weren't gray. And I guess they worked out pretty well. I know the color's off just a hair, but yeah, they were blue. So if we compare it, yeah, a little darker, but you know what? Don't even care, dude. Don't even care. Had my dad install it. Anyways. So I'm going to put all these trim panels back in and just admire. I mean, would you just look at it? We got the seats in. Still got to throw the backs in, but I want to get the panels in. And yeah, I think, yeah. Oh. I think I mentioned it already, but that didn't turn out so well, so. Well, we got most of the interior put back together. Back seats in. Seat belts are all in here. Trim panels are all there. Front seats are all good to go. And I'm going to have to do some work, I think, to these door panels because they're oofda. That's not a today problem. Why is that loose? That's random. Okay, striker's loose. Good to know. But anyways, the sun did clear up, and that local car show, they got about another hour left in it. I'm not going to go to that one. I did find another one that I'm going to go to, though, so I'm going to go wash up quickly and we'll see how bad the Impala turned out here with the rain. It is a few days later, and I'm back out here working on this Caprice, and we got to finish up by putting the rear panels back together on it, get the tires put back on, and probably get it back on its paws and go take it for a test drive. I want to see what the problem is. I think it's got kind of a stutter under acceleration. I don't know. I might try to grease up the U-joints while it's up in the air and in the garage here before we pull it out. But first I want to get this rear end all put back together. And by rear end, I mean rear panels, not rear end like your diff. All right. Turned out all right for being blue, now it's gray. I did find a couple cans of that satin spray paint, so maybe we'll get ambitious over the summer here and, you know, rip the whole interior apart. Sorry for the curvature there. And, you know, redo an interior, spray paint it. I don't know. But that's not today's problem. That's someone else's problemo. Mine. Later. Gonna use this clear Gorilla Glue that I have sitting around. No, where I used it for. I don't know. I buy like a lot of random stuff on clearance. Of course, well, maybe it helps to twist the top. Just use whatever you got for adhesive material, whether it's Gorilla Glue or hot glue or something, caulking material. Why is it so hard? I had a dream that ended like this before. You know, I'm not the first person that's been in here with this wire, how it is. Everything's kind of loose and floppy. I feel like there were some screws I had to put back in this underneath it. It's just those tabs. Yeah, just those tabs I gotta push back in. All right, the interior is all put back together for the most part. Even got the little panels up here all put back together. Got my floor mats in. I did not put that corner back together because we still got to figure something out for that seat belt. But good enough for what I got going on here. I'm just putting my air freshener back in the vent where it belongs. I did also, while I was at it, went through and greased up the entire front end and got all the points. So we got upper, lower, tie rods, inner, outer. We got these, the little whatever angle pitman majigger thing that is. See the grease is gooping out of it. And yeah, it's all good. Now I did climb underneath it to try to figure out why I got a vibration underneath load, and the U-joint from the yoke to the drive shaft is not very good. It's got a little play in it, so that probably needs to be fixed. Also, the back one is seen some better days. So it's going to need 2 new U-joints Flavor of the month. Chris does U-joints in 2026, just like starters was 2025. Yay. Anyways, so while I was underneath here lubing up the underside, I was just eyeballing some stuff, and I did notice that those vacuum lines for the Opti were, one was plugged in, the one that was the blue tubey thing here to right there was plugged in, but this one was not. So I went through and I blasted it with the brake clean right here by my head, and I'm looking at it, and as I'm sitting here, I don't know if you can tell that or not, but it's got a drip to it that looks like to be pretty fresh oil. Pretty fresh oil. So my guess is that's probably where a little bit of a stumble stall thing is kind of coming in, and how the oil is actually getting into the Opti is beyond me, because I think that's probably why this guy gave me like a whole kit, front seal kit, maybe, timing. Yeah, I think he was planning on doing like the front, tearing the whole front end of the car apart and redoing it. I don't know. I am going to clean that line off because it's supposed to have vacuum on it. And if it doesn't have vacuum, it can't remove any of the built up stuff. But we don't want oil in our Opti. It's supposed to be electronical. So on the top side where those two vacuum lines come up, there's this two-way check valve, and it comes up to this one, and then the other one comes up to the elbow right here. This, of course, goes into the side of the intake. I did check that to make sure that it had vacuum on it when it was running. This one did not, though, so this is the one that was not hooked up, that should have been hooked up. So what I'm going to do is, you can see I unhooked it here. I'm going to pull these out, and I'm going to first try to get any residual oil out of this and make sure we don't have a block in our lines, because that would be bad, for one. Two, if it's cheap enough little vacuum line, I think I got plenty of it laying around over here. I'll probably just replace it if it needs to be replaced or spliced together, because it is a little, you know, a little swollen. So let's dive into that. I'm gonna look and see how oil can even get into the optical spark illusion. All right, so nerding out, looking at my old video that I did an Opti spark on. There's not really a way for oil to get inside of the Opti from the motor itself. Now, the water pump has that little shaft on it that has O-rings on it. That can fail, that can drip down. That's where possibly, one, the oil could get into from the Opti not being sealed very well, because let's face it, the Optis are kind of notorious for letting contaminants inside of them. Or number two, surprisingly enough, these lines, I guess, can be a problem. And even though that they are a vacuum, it vacuums from the lowest point, and there is this two-way check valve in here and some other jazz, but how oil could get up inside that vacuum is, well, if you think about it, where does the vacuum come from? It comes from the intake. There's oil splashing around in there. Well, how would it get up so high up in that location? PVC. Now, if you have excessive crankcase pressure inside of your engine, because it is a compressor, you could theoretically build up enough droplets where it's spinning around up in the top end of that intake, especially under high accelerations, and where normally you would think it would have a vacuum, it's going to suck out, go down the tube, as we saw it dripping down that tube, get inside the Opti spark, and cause you problems, looking like it's a faulty Opti spark. So, why do I think it's option number B and not option number A? Well, we have this red hose, for one, that is on the top of the engine. That's not factory. It should be a black one on there. So if we're not getting enough positive crankcase ventilation from that, because the system's doing something weird, it theoretically could put oil back into our hose down there, giving us a blow-by, if you will, and coming down there. Second thing I think it is this is, remember when we were underneath the car on, I don't remember which side it was, brand new O2 sensor. So this was giving some issues, giving a bad read, maybe a check engine light stalling. I don't know what it was doing, but the guy replaced the O2 sensor. Why would you replace the O2 sensor? Well, if you got issues. Well, typically those issues come from a PVC valve that is not operating or functioning correctly. So, third reason I'm going to do that and fix all that, hopefully, is, well, because it's the easiest. The next option would be to pull off the whole accessory drive, pull the water pump off, pull the Opti spark off, check it out, put the O-rings on there, put the gaskets on there. And I don't think it is timing cover chain gasket water pump related leaking out of the timing cover, because as this thing's been sitting here, we don't have any drips on the front of down there. Where normally if you had timing leak cover, it'd be leaking oil right there. Last thing I'm going to point out that kind of gives my suspicion of it's inside the top end of the motor versus the bottom end. Did you see the oil that was dripping out of that hose? Even though it's on the floor, it's pretty damn clear. Clean oil just doesn't appear anywhere. Usually if it drips off the bottom, it's collecting grime and grit and grease and other stuff. And I just don't think that is the culprit of an Opti leaking from somewhere up top into it. It'd be dirty. This is coming from inside the engine because the engine oil is relatively clean, same color. It's got to be coming from that hose. As silly as it sounds, it's plausible in my book, so let's fix it. Where the puck goes, because that's where the puck goes, right here, and then this thing's just gonna come right off, just like that. And there's home plate. It's gone. It's out. It's out of the way. I wonder if I put the Impala one on there, if it'll just, work out better. Gross. I don't know what that is. As I touch it, that kind of looks like a rock. Some other stuff. Anyways, fuck to out of here. All right, that stuff is really annoying. I should have not done that quite yet. We don't see any wires that are chewed up from anything unusual. We got our, oh, look at that. Oh. Well, there's a line for our Opti. But what I was, look at that. Oh, look at that. We have ourselves, it looks like, a brand new PVC that, let me get you in there and show you what it looks like, okay? Quit yelling at me, it's right there. But if you look closely, do you notice it's got a little residual oil on it? Residual oil. Oh, look, right above it, right there, that's where our vacuum port is for our Opti. Interesting. So what you're saying is our theory is coming closer and closer to fruition. Yes, I am. I don't want to get too cocky, but yes, I am. So I need to now pull the elbow off. Clamp, undo, vacuum, and then we got this little stupid sensor, whatever that does. And we'll pull this off, and we're going to look and see where that PVC plumbs into for its vacuum. Because we could just have excessive vacuum leaks. I don't know yet. Let me look. Elbow first base now is off. Let's see what we got here. First thing I notice is, wow, would you look at that? Would you just look at it? We got an oily substance inside of our throttle body. What does that do? Well, our idler air control is right there, and that screws up our idler air control, which that kind of looks newer right there. But if that gets all gummed up from getting oil in it, what happens then? Your LT run one runs like shit. Stupid. I don't know why my car's using oil. Well, there's your problem there, fishbulb. Okay. Sorry to go off on a tangent like that, but we're getting somewhere. What is this Chinese stuff I've never seen because I ripped it all off? Here's your air pump. That's Chinese, and it's got pumpage and air and all sorts of stuff on it. So anyways, back to why I was debating on tearing all this out and everything, because I wanted to see where this hard line went to. That went to our PVC that is back there. And yeah, it looks like it's good. The line is okay, pliable still, probably got good vacuum on it. That's okay, that works. So what's our next step here, you ask? I really should pull the throttle body off and clean that, but I'm not going to till it's a problem. Maybe it'll self-remedy itself here after a little bit. But I'm going to pull off that PVC and we're going to look at it and just see what the hell its problem is. It's a little gross. That looks exactly like the oil that's coming out of that hose. Crazy. You know what else that kind of looks like? I bet you if you pull this oil cap off, I bet you it's got water on top of it for that creamy oil, creamy goodness. That's how you know you got a pressure PVC valve thing. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but usually you get that milky nastiness that forms up on top of here. I mean, it's a little crusty, but I've seen worse. But that's usually an indicator right there. So how are we going to remedy this, you say? Get to the damn point already. I'm working on it. I'm devising a plan, all right? Stop yelling at me. I guess you can yell at me. It doesn't matter. We'll fix it. So it really got me thinking on what the hell. And I'll start with the obvious of this hose right here is just, well, you can see how awesome that worked for this PVC. So we know that we probably had a vacuum leak right there. Second thing is the Opti vent line has two check lines. GM probably put these in because they realized, hey, oil's going to get down to your Opti if this fails. And sure enough, if you do it both ways, we have some kind of movement with airflow, even with two check valves in here. So I got to thinking, where that one plugs into right here, we want after mass airflow sensor metered air going into the Opti and then sucked into the engine, but we don't want what's in the engine coming back, hence check valves. I don't know if I have any check valves available, and I have to go through my stuff and look, but I'm going to address the elephant in the room and at least connect the PVC with a tighter hose, put some clamps on it, because every little vacuum leak can cause a big issue, and I'm not going to be able to get underneath here. That's unfortunate, but I can, I think, get to this one all right, and I'm going to put a clamp on it and tighten stuff down, and we'll start chipping away at these vacuum leaks. All right, clamp on there. Got two on right there with a new piece of hose. Now this should fish back in there like it's supposed to. And yeah, get in there. Get in there. We're in there now. So that's in there a little bit better. Next thing we're gonna address is this red one on the side. All right, so this is, come on, just a breather. Comes out over here. And it just allows breathing of the passenger side. But at the same token, it sucks up BS into here. We can actually see we got a bunch of crap. That's the stuff that clogs up your throttle body, is that. And we're just gonna get rid of that. I do have this giant ass catch can that I would like to put on here, because you know on the Impala we put one on right here. And we have it ran from here to there, and it catches any of the crap in the bottom of it. However, this one is too massive for this application and for, you know, frankly anything, unless we stick it down in the front here. I don't know. We might do that later. I don't know. Pointless to go sideways with it because it's got a drain on the bottom. I don't know. It's kind of obnoxiously big. So what I'm going to do is exactly what I've done on all other Impalas, is this little thing for my K&N. There we go. We got a breather on it now for this side. We still got to plug this little hole up. And if you're wondering where that little filter comes from, it's for your air pump on your cold air intake when you do that. We just have the catch can on the Impala, so we didn't need that. So here it is. It's now on this. You will get faint smells of kind of aroma-y oil, if you will, from that. But that's okay. It's okay. If we get to the point of putting a catch can in, I highly recommend getting some of these brass elbows for plumbing, maybe some T's. You know, I don't have enough hose. I think I got enough to get it where I'd like it here, but I really want to get it up over way on the driver's side. And remember, this one's about not spending any money and doing with what we have. So that's what we have. That's what we're going to do. And I'm also going to get our hole right there plugged up right now. All right, best way you can do this is take your hose that you have from the PVC, jam a bolt, big one, in there, cut it about, I don't know, yay, just past where the bolt is, something like that. If you have a good hose, otherwise anything will work. And then you're going to want to put some hose clamps on it. Like so. Now if this was a fuel rail covered car, meaning it's got the Corvette covers on it or it's got the Impala covers on it, I'd probably give it a little bit more than two shits about the way it looks underneath here, but right now I'm just going for functionality. And we simply put our hose clamp on here, the other one, put it onto the throttle body like so, and now you have yourself a vacuum plug, nice and tight. Get that snugged up here and we'll move on to our next step. So I'll typically keep a bunch of all my old little odds and ends and trinkets, just a box full of that stuff. And what I was able to come up with is I found this in here, which we have this weird little, looks like a vacuum check on there, and I did find another little check valve in here. Actually works. So that's neat. We're going to use that. Also, I have some extra pieces of hose in here. Now, just like the other one, we got to, of course, plug it up. And I like to golf, so I have golf tees around. And they make a very good hole fitter for your thingamajigger here. And that's actually a good one. Let's just take this one and go ahead and nip it off. And can barely put air through it, but I'm still going to put a hose clamp on it because I got them. Might as well. And I'd use a vacuum plug, but I don't know where my vacuum plugs went, and quite honestly, they rot out in a year or two, so whatever. This works. So there it is, golf tee, little piece in here. And I know what you're thinking. You might be thinking, well, didn't you just find that little vacuum piece? Why wouldn't you just use the same side vacuum that you were using over here? Well, that would be a good thing to argue, but I would argue that it's had a problem on this side. We're going to figure out a vacuum somewhere else. So let's plug this one up. Well, if you don't know, the LT1's got a couple different vacuum ports on it, on the passenger side as well. Starting right down over here, we got two of them. One goes to the back there, and it goes back to your, that little gold thing, which is your, I don't know, something thinger. It's vacuum driven. And we got this top one that comes up to right here. There's another check valve up here. It goes up in here into the wire harness. That goes to your HVAC, runs all your HVAC controls inside there. Yes, they are off vacuum. We also have additional vacuum location lines. You can see off of here, there's a vacuum that comes up here, into here, and over to here, and down to here. I don't know where it goes down into there. Oh, that's your evap fuel junk, I guess, is where that is. But where I'm going with all this is, if this stuff is over here still functioning as normal, which I got to be cautious about that because it looks like the gold thing back there was replaced. Why wouldn't we just use this side, right? So, purge valve, it's probably doing its purge thing. I don't know if we really want to tap into that necessarily, but we could tap into our HVAC line. We could use a vacuum there. Then we're double vacuumed. It's not like we're using the vacuum to turn the vents all the time. So, most likely, we're going to figure out one of those to use back there. And what's really getting my attention is this one right here, this little check valve. It's got like two down ports, and then it's got the through port, and then it's got this other stuff. I'd kind of like to incorporate that and use it, but I think simplistics, I guess. I don't know if it'll quite work. I don't think it's going to work, but this will work. We got a bunch of extra hoses and connections and stuff. So I'm going to route from the Opti. We're going to go back through the original location. Maybe we'll snake it around underneath here. I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's just a vacuum. We'll probably just sneak it through right here. We'll tie it into this side, and then we'll have the return do its normal thing, come up into the elbow. And that should, theoretically, get majority of the crap out the oil out of the Opti. So we'll run it for a while, we'll pull the line back off, and we'll see if it's got oil contaminants in it. If it does, then obviously we know we got another problem, but I think that's going to resolve our issue. Don't get too cocky. It's fucked me before. So I got a T. Thankfully I had one. If not, you can get yourself one of these T's. Got a small piece of hose. I did go ahead and pull the bottom one off. You can see its port right there. And what we're going to do is we are going to put the T inside there, and then we're going to branch off of it and do some magic. And we are going to have ourselves another vacuum. Run that forward up to the Opti, and it should be good. All right, teed off, comes over here. Of course, zip tied over. I did put that check valve in because ironically enough, that's where the hose ended up landing. Routed it underneath here down to its original spot. Of course, we have our other one right here. Just got to hook it up on the Opti now, and should be good to go. Okay, hooked up back on the bottom here. I got a couple clamps on there too, so that's all good. I'm gonna zip tie the hoses out of the way. I'm probably just gonna do it to the spark plug wire or something right there, but I don't want to get caught up in the pulley here. Kind of interesting underneath too. If you look, it's got a different adapter for that mechanical fan. It's pretty neat. That sounds amazing. Good thing we have 3 of those to change that out if it goes bad. And it's also got this neat little shroud that goes all the way around. Huh. Heavy duty cooling, what do you know? Okay, moment of truth here. Got everything back together. Of course, we're just loosely in here for right now, so we can just fire it up and make sure it actually starts. And then we're going to check and make sure we got a vacuum on that little tube thing. Almost sounds like we got a spark jumping. Hear it? A little click. Faint, but it's there. I wonder if I shut the lights off, we're going to see him. See if we see any sparks. I don't know. I do know that I'm going to put the wheels back on this thing and we're going to go rip it up and down the road. That's just weird. Yeah, like I was saying, it sounds like there was a spark plug wire that was jumping, arcing somewhere. we'll see. All right, back on its paws here. Show you that blacked out rim. Kind of mixed on it, I guess. I think it looks all right with the car, but like I mentioned, I think I got a lead on some clean SS rims, so that'll be good enough for right now. So we'll take this thing for a spin up and down the road and see what it does. Maybe it's quieter. Maybe. Sure smells like frickin' paint fumes like a son of a gun in here. Still got a little bit of a stumble going on here. Don't know what that's about. Well, let's go beat it up and see what it does on the road. Still tripping over itself a little bit. It's a lot quieter in here now. Funny how repairing holes in the floor actually does that. Yeah, it's got a mess still. Would not be surprised if that Opti is just caked with all sorts of oil and gunk, and it's pretty nasty. All right, well, let's find a place to turn around before we die too much. Yeah, it doesn't like me getting on it. I think that Opti's toast. Surprised it's still even running like it is. Oh well. Still hearing that faint spark. Maybe it's exhaust. Well, we definitely got a leak over here. But this side's definitely a snap. I'm gonna let it sit here and run for a minute. I'm gonna clean the garage out. Think on it. So it's definitely arcing a lot more. Yeah, you can see right there where it went. I don't know why I didn't catch that before, but apparently it's arcing right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull home plate off again. Let's see if we can't change out that spark plug wire from the coil down to the Opti. Maybe that'll help it. Maybe that's why it's got its stalling out. But let's check it out. Now the question is, dielectric grease, my guys. There's nothing on here. Oh. We got, of course I ripped the boot off, but you can see there's evidence of rust. That ain't good. Wire for life. It's premium Belden 7mm cable. Yeah. Your junk. Oh my gosh, that thing's hot. And I don't know if you can see inside there. It's a little crispy golden brown. It's almost like it was arcing for some reason. Interesting. Well, thankful and relieved. I had a box of spark plug wires because I don't throw anything away. And these red MSD ones, that actually might be it. Okay, new one's installed. Dielectric grease in there as well, so hopefully it holds up. So I'm gonna throw everything back together and we'll see if this thing fires up and has that spark still. Okay, moment of truth. I probably shouldn't put these on. Let's see if it's gonna start. Definitely the issue. We just had the misfire from that one plug wire, so all good now. Got a little stumble, a little bit of spark knock. I'm wondering if that Opti still got some oil in it that needs to be worked out of it. On it. All right, back home in the garage. She did it. She did it. She's coming around. Could be some bad gas still in there. Haven't driven it in probably 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. So, you know, I think that stumble in there it's probably going to come around. Got one more thing I want to try to fix here before I end off this video. I'm doing a lot in this video, damn. If you guys ever have wind noise, your seal, it gets folded up in here. Yeah, that is not good. That also causes a shark fin because it'll break this window eventually and it'll do the shark fin thing trying to roll it up and down. So try to fix that here really quick. It's quite simple. Start by rolling the window down. That actually goes down pretty good. Next thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna fish all this out of the channel because what happens is it gets crammed up in there. You can use a pick, you can use your finger, you can use all sorts of stuff. So let me go grab some picks and whatnot. Okay, with a pick or flathead, most of you probably have a flathead, so let's just do it with a flathead. You just got to get in here and rework it out from inside the channel. It's going to take some finessing, but just kind of go through and work it out. It's all right. Just work it out. Now, next part's gonna involve you being outside the vehicle and inside at the same time. All right, with it mainly for the most part out in this track, you're kind of holding it up. Simply just roll up your window. Get it up there. Don't pinch your fingers in there now. But what you want to do is you want the window be in the right spot and basically reforce it up to where it goes. take it just right up in there. Work it out. And just ignore it for a while. You can take a heat gun, heat it up, try to get it back to its memory, but the longer it stays pinched like this now in its normal position, the better it's going to be. So if your air conditioner doesn't work and you got to roll your window down all the time, you might want to do it every single time, but that's how you quick, easy fix it. You might have to finagle it a couple times and work at it a few times, but you'll get it. You'll get it. Just like that. And guess what? We got a name for this thing now. Had a couple comments that came up. Hunter. Hunter. They name themselves. So Hunter is this bad boy or girl, gal, I don't know. Hunter Green, you get it? Hunter, the 94 Chevy Caprice. There it is. 1994 Chevrolet Caprice. We gutted the inside, cleaned it, we pressure washed it. We did floors in it, repaired the rust on the outside, fixed a little bit of maintenance with the OptiSpark there. Painted a rim, even though it's kind of crappy, but she's pretty much road ready, minus a few things. We still got to do U-joints on it. That's going to be another video. But yeah, this one was a fun one. And honestly, I started this on Thursday and today's Monday. This is going to be this week's video. So, and that was with going to a car show this past weekend and not really working on it completely because I had other projects I was working on. You're going to see in future videos. So that's going to do it for this one. Please like, subscribe, share, comment below. 1994 Chevrolet Caprice wagon. They're still out there. You can find them. It's a little bit of work. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Anyways, I'm going to finish my beer. Clean up the garage. Get the Impala in here. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks.